Here it goes. I think it's starting. I'm trying to remember. So the session was like a couple weeks ago, right?
Couple of weeks with Sophie, and it was just, it's one thing when you think something in your head, but for her to be able to hear these things from someone that she's never met before, it was empowering for her. It was so empowering. I mean, if any parent could give a gift to their child, that is such a gift. Because, I can tell her, oh, these wonderful things that I feel about you, but it matches messages she has received and things that she, resonates with. It was just so strong.
That's
It was
nice.
such a really good experience. I mean, everybody, benefits from that.
Right. Yeah. And I mean that's exactly why 3 years ago I scheduled a session for my own daughter, you know, when she was 9. And I wanted all the parents, and I did, we published it and all this. Um, I wanted people to know that our kids benefit from it
Oh,
greatly. I mean,
definitely.
she became so self-confident about her abilities, and she could see all this time. But after this, she would go close her eyes and say, "Mom, I'm checking on you. I'm checking on everybody in the family." And that's kind of like you say, like we need confirmations because we need to counteract that program that is placed into us, into
Mhm.
each and every human body, that don't trust yourself, don't trust in your abilities. And once you start trusting, your life starts unfolding, right?
Oh,
She's
completely.
feeling better about everything. And
Oh, huge boost for, I mean, she was confident, but it's a different confidence. It's the acknowledgement of what she felt. So, yeah, it was, it was awesome. So, and it's fun to hear it back too. I played it for my mom. And, my mom has always seen certain, she's always said, she just seems so grown up and so mature and so this and so that. And she said, sometimes I just feel like I have a hard time relating to her in some ways. Well, she listened to the video, and I mean, it just brought tears to her eyes because she's like, now I understand so many things that my mom had felt, that she had been receiving subconscious, these messages from her higher self about Sophie. So she, on another level, received confirmations. So it helped my mom evolve and grow just by listening to the video between you and Sophie. So it continues to extend out, throughout the family.
right, and you are also sensitive. Like your daughter is so lucky to have such a, you know, beautiful mom. I mean, both of your energies, but she's like this fairy, very light, beautiful, soft energy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's very nice that she's at home and all this because you kind of have to preserve this generation of this beautiful, nice souls, for they are building something new and based on different frequencies for sure. And can you tell a little bit that you about your books that come to you, that your subconscious dictate?
It's funny because I did bring them out here, and what you just said, one of them, I don't know if you can see it if the camera's, but it's raising children. And one of my favorite parts in the book, and I wish I could take credit for the words, but they just came to me, was teach your children how to communicate, not what to communicate, how to love, not who to love, how to create, not what to create. And it just talks about preserving an energetic space for them that is not filled with all of these distractions and, you know, all the things that can pull them down, and to preserve that space where they stay connected to their higher self. So they
Mm.
always have that guidance. And we take that away from our children, I think. We don't mean to, but we do, you know? So it
Yeah.
kind of breaks it down for people that are just opening their minds to the whole energy fields, etc. It breaks it down a little bit, that, but you know, it's a real, I wish I'd had the book when my kids were little.
Yeah.
But that's that one, and then the other is the Love book. But they're both on Amazon. But I mean, anybody that wants the book, if they can't pay for the book, I will send them the PDF because the messages are so strong. And that's my whole purpose, is to get the messages out. It's not really about selling books. And those would help pay the bills, but it's about getting the messages out is more important. So that's what I tell people. And I've given out a lot of the books. So
Imagine. Yeah. Because when you were talking about it, I saw like a flower. It was before it was closed, you were gaining experience by by raising your own child, right? And then at some point you develop this experience that energetically kind of matched, right? Your subconscious. So you build a bridge to your subconscious, to your own soul, and that opened up the understanding and consciousness level back and forth. So you could share it. You were like ripe and ready to share it with the world in a way, and that's
right.
why you're getting it from your own self.
Mm-hmm.
So you totally can, that's give yourself credit for that because it really is you. I mean, we don't. People don't understand. Most of the time when we talk, we channel ourselves. It's not us because when we speak from the heart, it's not us. It's that invisible part of us that is, not seen, but is very powerful. Um, so yeah, if you can show the book, because for people to know, my screen is totally black. I can't really see you. I don't know, Skype today is acting up, but we pre-recorded the video, and I mean,
But
you can see both
that's one
screens.
of them, and then this is the other book. But it's yeah, they're just neat messages, especially right now. And yeah, it's about protecting children, that they don't belong to us. We don't,
Yeah,
And another book that, I mean, I'm on like book number 6 or 7. I don't know. I can't get them edited and out fast enough. But one of the books talks about, why would we think that our children truly belong to us? They're not possessions. We're not possessions. That, we each came here for a separate and, adventure, and to protect that space for them to have their own experience. I guess we're
right.
here to teach them how to maneuver in this whole system of duality. And once they gain, you know, their balance, then they're off to go do what they want to do or came
Yes.
here to do, or I don't know what I don't know.
Right. They have their inner purpose, so we might not know, so we can't really stir them in certain direction. We don't have the right because it's just a big soul in a little body. All,
Yeah.
like you said, all it needs is your protection to guide, to save them until a certain age, and then they're ready to fly by themselves. But yeah, it's beautiful. I hope, people, because it's like an automatic writing, right? It just comes to you and you sit and write down, right? It's like channeling your own
Like I can write a
essence.
book in 2 days if I just sit there constantly typing. And then
Yeah,
I go back and read it. I don't even know what I've written until I read it. And, I'm off like, wow, that's pretty cool.
yeah, well,
So
that's
it's
automatic.
fun. It's a fun way of writing because I'm not putting that stressful energy into it. It's just flowing. Like you said, it's just coming through. I'm allowing it to come through. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
But
beautiful. Thank you. Well, that's actually, it was that basically this topic is why I started doing all the sessions, everything, because I was always about children that I could understand from early on, even being like with the moms and having 4 kids one after another at the playground, hearing how they build up the idea of their future, whom they want their kids to be, how they want them to be. And I was thinking, like you just said, but they don't belong to you. They just came through you. But it doesn't mean that you have to uh, realize your dreams through them. You should do your own. things, because a lot of times people didn't achieve something in their own life and they want to project that idea into their kids. And there's so many things, I mean, it made me think about related to this topic. So I was just like, that's why I always felt like kids need to be free and always be able to express their ideas and imagination. And that's why it makes me happy these days. There's so many people, kids are homeschooled, So many kids have this time to like paint, draw, whatever they want. Like my kids, they do clay, they do drawing, whenever they want to do it. Because they have this only 3 classes a day online in big spaces and basically in nature, collecting rock sticks and leaves all the time. So
Exactly. What they came here to do is to learn about this space too. Instead of sitting in a classroom, I mean, one of the chapters in the book even talks about how long it would take to actually explore just the city that you live in, like every nook and cranny of the city. Imagine trying to explore a country or the world. Like, we don't even have enough time, and yet we're sitting inside a building. It's like, get outside, go find it, you know?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, the children, it's a strange world that we're in right now, but I see things changing for the positive. I really do.
Yeah.
And have you always felt that way? I've always, my entire life, felt like there's this big wheel and it was turning in a direction, but one day it was going to stop and then it was going to reverse. I could just feel this big wheel, and we're at the stopping and kind of crushing everything and then revolving back to rebuild.
That's a beautiful analogy, actually. Yeah, it's very good. Because I was comparing, what was I comparing? The lives. So there's a thread, and you put beads of the necklace on the thread. These are your lives. Each bead, like a barrel, has programs, software programs. And when you spin the thread, move it, the beads spin at the same time. So these are our lives going. But at some point you understand that you're all the beads, you're the thread. You don't want to be that anymore. And that kind of when that wheel is gonna stop because you grew out of the program, or
Right?
you figured that out, you learned too much of it. Once you figure it out, you're no longer
Like you
what,
graduate,
right? Right.
you know.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the whole idea. You can create any space. You don't have to take Earth. You can take any even space in the etheric, right? Like they do in between lives. And what do you do to keep the prisoners in? You put the ideas into their heads and specific rules and regulations, how it has to go, and you kind of like put this idea that they have to listen and obey. And we got to the point we're tired of listening and obeying to their rules.
Mhm.
And that makes us no longer prisoners anymore. So, people, a lot of people are figuring that out these days. And also that you're free the moment you understand all that. You don't need, anything like a lot of times you don't even need a session. You just
Right.
have to firmly understand who you are inside and what your true rights are. You live on this planet. You shouldn't be paying for anything on this planet. You
We're
should.
the creatures that do.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we're moving. And then, yet again, like I told you in the beginning, I see so many people who are delivering the truth, right? And finding against that system through their videos, but at the same time, they talk about other people who are doing the same, and they're saying that those are not saying the truth. So things like that. So see how smartly they are activating the program of let's make them fight. And that's another thing for people to be aware. If thoughts telling you to do this and that, or you get frustrated about something and ready to quit too quickly, these are the programs. These are not you. Because
Hmm.
soul is very persistent. If soul wants something, you know, she'll
If
do it.
if there's a way. Yep. That's so true.
Right. And the same thing, you know, like so many souls and planets and systems in the universe, and everybody's different. So what would you do? You fight because they're different, or you fight because you think they're not, it's not, you know, this universe has the wrong rules of physics? Of course not. You just, you know, you go and find the one you like. That's how we go find the people we resonate with. Yeah, and that's what kind of strange about the whole thing here, because people are so absorbed into their little tiny programs of their own virtual reality world, right?
Mhm.
And we learn it from early age. Here's the perception that you have to build about yourself. But I don't know why I got into this topic because I noticed more and more people on even YouTube like fighting with each other, and I wanted to bring it to attention. So if you have a pool that you want just to fight with somebody, even it doesn't matter how, just know it's a program, you know? You have
And
to,
going in the opposite direction. It's
right?
taking them off of a it's taking them towards suffering. You know what I mean? It's I don't
Yeah.
know.
And the kids are the same. Yeah, I teach my kids to. It's like you teach them by your example, really. There's nothing better than this, I feel. Like when I get frustrated and then explain to them why I got frustrated, you know, and say sorry because, you know, it's never about you, it's about something inside of me. And then they learn that way. And I see the, you know, my 9-year-old explaining to my 6-year-old, hey, you know, I'm sorry I said it to you because I was like, you know, frustrated with this homework or whatever I was doing, you know. So I mean that's how it should be. It should be all open. That's our nature. We have emotions and we have, you know, but if you constantly analyze your emotions and what you say, then becomes a totally different system. You are in control of it. That's when you become strong inside,
Right.
right?
And forgiving yourself. I think that's a big thing too. That because with my kids, I do the same thing. It's okay, I messed up. I'm sorry. You know, like, and it's usually out of frustration.
Right.
Like, you know, my computer wasn't working, and when you asked me the question, I snapped, and you know, I should have been nicer, and I'm so sorry I took that out on you. And it does it. I mean, it's necessary.
Right. Yeah.
but but yeah, many people just no, I don't know. And children have free will too. That's another thing. And I tell my I was just talking to one of my kids last night, and um, she's older, and you know, talking about people's opinion, you know, their decisions that they're making about whether to take something or not take something. And I just said, you know, everybody has their own truth. Just respect their truth. Whatever they feel they're being guided to do, if they're being guided very strongly, then that's what they should be doing. You just have to be on your own path, and um, you know, and I do believe that people are doing things because they're in some cases their higher self is guiding them in that direction.
Yeah, also, like I always tell my kids, I don't forget that a lot of people have etheric implants, which and their mental body is overtaken by the programs and the implants. So if they're saying or doing something, it's not necessarily that comes from their soul, maybe
True.
the programs.
Hmm.
But why are they allowing these programs to run in their bodies or control their physical mind?
Oh, that's true.
It's because they're not at this understanding slash consciousness level to
Hmm.
actually say, oh, stop, wait, let me examine, let me analyze this. So these are not my thoughts, you know, that's not how I think. There's no logic, you know, but they don't think that way. They're more towards thinking. And that's what to me is usually controlled, mind controlled by the huge egregor of the matrix, which has entities and or alien beings who put implants in you, who control you. So this, you know, nobody can just approach to you and like put implant in your head when you're aware and awake. You know,
Hmm.
So, but it's those people who are already controlled by some entity that, usually get easily mind controlled in either way.
Yes, I do agree with that. But I guess for her, my message was like, there's really not anything that you personally can do.
Right. Yeah, because that's their consciousness level, and they might be still in first grade and you were in 10th grade.
That's a
So
really
you
good
can
way to put it.
10th grade to the little kids. So
Yes,
the thing is, that's they don't know better. So
that's a really good way to put it. Yes. But they will eventually get to 10th grade.
sure, for sure. Yeah, it's just taking longer.
Right.
But yeah, with the different consciousness levels here, and some of us are old souls, some of us are young. And you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of lives on Earth to be an old soul. You can be an old soul with the first life here, but you spend a lot of times on one of the galaxies in this universe or in other universes, and accumulated this knowledge through your incarnation. So, and you remember that you made a point to remember. There's a lot of sessions when a soul makes a point to remember, and they always live with this feeling inside. I know more than what I see. And then at some point they discover why they always knew this inside, which is interesting too. So we are very powerful beings. We should remember that.
Yes. It's, you
I,
know, but
yeah.
yeah, children, that it's, you know, I wish more people had that sincere, pure focus. Um, but maybe we'll get there. I hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, sure. Well, everything's gonna be just fine. But
Oh, it is. It's
yeah.
hard to. You can't convince people that they either have to know it or not know it. But I do 100% believe that
Right.
um,
Yeah.
it's all going to be okay. Just if everyone can just be kind and calm.
Right. Because I totally know people who are awaken to this, and know all of this, how it's going, how they control us through all the systems of control. They're the ones who've been through this already. We just kind of, in the linear perception, we came from the future back to help others who are still stuck in it, in this mess. And so we give them a little bit of energy and light and all of this that has information in it, helps them out. So we do leave a trace, you know, like a comet with a tail on the back, and they still have that knowledge around, so they can easily use it when their understanding grows, to use it and to seek it, right? To look for it. Okay, well, thanks a lot. It was a very good
Oh,
time.
too. And yeah, again, I wish every parent would email you and say, please let me do a session for my children because my child, one at a time, it's um it's inspiring, and I mean I can't even put into words
Yeah.
what it does. So thank you, definitely a gift.
And what
So
made a difference for your daughter, she was actually present. She was listening. She was really like her conscious and subconscious were united. And I was just an instrument in between too, connecting them, like I'm like an interpreter in between. So, I mean, I felt like she lived through it, emotionally too.
oh, definitely.
It's
I mean, she
beautiful.
just grinned. You can't see it in the video, but she just has a super smile on her face the entire time. I mean, it was just one confirmation after another. And then she, of course, has gone back to listen to it, which, because you pick up more every time you listen. So, and it's a wonderful thing to have. She can go back if she's, having a day where she's feeling doubtful or down. She can go back and like, oh, that's right. This is who I really am.
Right.
This is just an expression right now. Okay. But
Yeah, just a phase you're going through.
exactly. But
Yeah.
yes, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, I'm turning off.